Hello friends, in today's video I'm going to show you how to build an organization chart with Google Visualization API. So basically we have some data for the members in your organization, and we have the name of the team member, and also have the manager of the team member. And we have a title for the member, and we also have a description for this title, and also we also have a image URL for the member's profile image. Okay, so this is all the data we're going to use to create the organization chart. So if I run this function in this menu org chart, and we have a preview function here. Right, it's creating the chart. Okay, once the chart is pretty can be printed like this. So here you can see I have a tier 1 for the CEO, right? So since this is top level, and this one doesn't have any manager, so we leave it as blank. And also we have two tier 2 members, and tier 2A and tier 2B. And for the tier 2, which they have the manager for tier 1. Okay, so just like this, it's very simple. And also you can see for for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, I assigned an image on my drive and got a URL for them. For the other team members which don't have a profile image, we're going to have a placeholder for the image. Okay, and you will have the title here, and we also have a tips here. Once you hand over, I'm going to show you the description for each team member, and also you can select the team members. Also, you also can double click to collapse the hierarchy. Okay, so just like this. Also, you can print this chart and save them as PDF. Okay, just like this. All right. And also you can publish this script as a web link, as a web application, so you can use this web application in your website. Okay, so it's very similar. It's just show you in here. It is the same thing, I think. Okay, so let me show you how to build this in AppScript. And if you like to do some modification, you can change the code because I did some customization for this organization chart. So by default, it not looks like this. So you can do some modification in your code. So this looks pretty good. All right, let's show you how to build it. So you can copy my my script. Just just go to File and make a copy. All right, so let's rename it for a YouTube video. Just close this chart. So first, let's go to a website. Please do a search for Google Visualization API. So this is just an example to create an organization chart with this API. So in this API, you have a lot of types of chart you can create. So in this guides, as you can see here, we have a lot of chart types. So in this video, I just used this one, this organization chart. So basically, I use the sample code here. Very few line of code you can copy to use. I just copy the code and put them in my script. So this is the file I just created. So if you make a copy of my file, so you should be able to see this our chart menu, and you can run it for the first time. So it will ask you for the authorization. Okay, so all right. Okay, so now it's working. And if you are copy this file to your drive, please remove this, replace these URLs with your own image on your drive. It is very simple to get the URL. So if you do if you search some pictures on your drive, and you can just get a shareable link just like this, and you copy this link. Please copy this link and paste here somewhere. So I get another. Okay, so just like this. And if I try to run it again, so all right, so I just replaced the profile image placeholder with my another cat photos from my drive. Okay, just like this. It is very simple. Okay, so you can edit the hierarchy here to remove or add new team members to your organization. So maybe you can add more. Yes, see here, if you check the web application here, so let's say we want to add another tier 2. So we have tier 2A, tier 2B. We'd like to add a tier 2-3. So you just go to your data sheet, and you just add tier 2C, I think. So its manager should be tier 1, right? And let's also give it a title for GM and description for general manager, and also give it a photo profile. All right, so let's try to run it again. Okay, now we have tier 2-3, tier 2C for the third tier 2 member here. So you can add more, and you also can remove some of them. So it is very handy if you want to manage your organization in a spreadsheet like this. And let me show you how to do some modification in the code. So please go to Tools, Script Editor. You should be able to find all the code for this project. Okay, in this first I'd like to explain in this code.js file. So all the scripts are here. So let me explain this file to you. So first, I have a function to get the data from this sheet. So I need to get all these informations. We're going to use it later in the HTML file. So I just get the data with the ship name. So if you change the ship name with another name, not like data, so you need to modify the code here. And we get the data range, so we're going to get the range like this. So if you have more data, this range is dynamic, depends on how many rows and columns in your sheet. Okay. So once we get this data, we're going to get the values, and we also, I don't think I need to use this color because I was planning to use this color, so you can color your team member, so it will going to, so you can use it because for my project, all these team members are in the same color. So if you like to do, so my original idea was if I give a color for this member, and we can use this color for the team member background color here. So that's another improvement that you can do. So here it is what I was trying to do, but in this project I didn't do it. So you can try it if you are interested. And also we need to get the data. This data we're going to use to create the chart. Okay. So also we have a profile URL for the placeholder profile placeholder image. Okay, if you go to this URL, so just like this, it's a blue icon for the profile image. You can choose others. All right. So this is the default placeholder for the profile image, and we're going to go through each rows of the data here, and we're going to get the name, manager, title, and description, and the profile URL. All right. So if the URL have a question mark ID equal, so if the URL is like this, we're going to split this URL with this separator, so we can get the ID. Okay, so we can get the ID in the second element of the array. So once we get the ID of the file, okay, once we get the ID for this picture, we can use this Drive API. So for this Drive API, we can get a web content link for this URL. So this is URL to the file content, so we can display it in the HTML file. So this Drive API is a Google Advanced Service. So if you copy my file, you should be able to find it. It is already turned on. So if you're trying to build it from your own, you need to make sure this Drive API is enabled, or you cannot use it. So if the URL is empty, or so for other cases, this URL will be going to set it equal to the default URL. It's just a placeholder for the profile. Okay. So once we get the profile, we're going to push some array with data to this data array. Okay, so it's a two-dimensional array. So in this array, we have three elements. So for the first one, it will be object with a value and a format. So here we have the name, and in this we have a format. So for this format, it's a HTML with CSS. So you can do the styles and your in this okay, in this property here. So for the format, I think this F means the format, and here you can do a lot of stuff here. So in this format, we add image, okay, we add a div for the name and a div for the title. So if you go to the this, so for each member, we're going to have an image. I'm going to have a title, and we also have a description. Okay, for this is a name and this is a title. For the description, it's a tips like this. If you hang over, I'm going to here have the description for the general manager. Okay, so this is the description and this is the manager information. So for the first element, it contains a lot of stuff. It's including all the visible stuff you can see from your organization chart. And for the second element is for the manager. So it's just a relationship between the value and the manager. Okay, this is a team member itself, and this is the team member's manager. So if the team member doesn't have a manager, you can leave it as empty, just like the first one. So the manager is empty. Okay. So once we get the data, we're going to return this data, and as it okay. So this is the measure function here, and also I like to explain this. So for this HTML file, we get a lot of class here. I have a div class for a profile, and we also have a class for profile image and a class for profile name and a profile title. So if you go to the index.html file, you will see all the styles I added here. I have a profile class, profile image class, profile name class, and a profile title class. So if you need to change the style, you can add your CSS property here, so you can modify the color, the style, the font, everything you can change. So it will change the color, it will change the font, it will change anything you like. So you need to know some CSS. All right, so okay, so this is a get data function here. All right, so this show chart function is very simple. It's just to show it's just once you click this preview, you're going to this preview it is run this function show chart. So this show chart is going to create a dialog with the template. So with this HTML file, index.html file, and set a width of 1200 and 700 height. So if you click it, it's going to show a dialog for with the content in this index.html file. Okay. So here we also have a doGet function. So it is very similar to this show chart. It do a different thing. So once we have this doGet function, we can publish this as a web application. So if I do this deploy as a web application, okay, I'm going to publish it. So now we get a URL that you can visit, just like this one, but this is the old one in my original file. So now this is a new one. I just deployed. Okay, and with tail, we have a third member in tier 2. Okay, so we now can copy the URL and replace this old one in this file. Okay, so basically that's all the code for the app script. And if you'd like to change the style, and if you need to add more stuff here, you can add it here. And if you like to change the appearance of the element, you can modify the style, this style sheet here. So just modify the color. So if I need to change the color for the background of the node class. This is another story. Okay. All right. So let's go to this index.html file. So basically, we have HTML file. So we have a styles. All these styles are the customized style for this orchard, and you can ignore it if you're not interested. And if you'd like to do some modification for the appearance of the organization chart, you need to do some modification here. And in the body section, we have a div for the button to print the organization chart, and we also have a div to hold the organization chart. So, and here we have a script to the Google organization. Google Visualization API. So we need to use this library, and we also have a script for. So it is basically it is copied from this example. As you can see here, we have a library from Google, and we have this code here. So basically, we need to replace this data with the dynamic data we can get from our spreadsheet. So since we already have a function here to retrieve the data and return a data structure, a two-dimensional array structure like this, so we can retrieve, so we run this function, so we run this get data function, and once we get the data with this chart data, so we're going to build this data, this chart data, and to build an organization chart with this data. Okay, we can remove this log here, and here it is very simple to understand, very easy to understand. So once we have this data, here basically you're going to load the chart package, okay, for the organization chart. So if you're not building the organization chart, you may need another package, okay. So for this callback function, we're going to draw this chart. So now in this draw chart function, I'm going to run this get data function. So if we get the data successfully, so with the success handler, I'm going to run a function here to create the chart. So for the data table, I'm going to add three columns, one for the name, one for the manager, and one for the tooltips. That's why we have three elements here in this data array. For each element, we need to push. So we have one for the name, one for the manager, one for the description. That's why we have three, since we have three columns. And once we get the columns, we need to add the data for the rows. Okay, for the rows we have especially we have all the row data here, and we retrieve the data in this function, and we put the row data here with this chart data. Okay, once we have the row data, we're going to set some options for this organization chart. First, set the allow collapse to true, so we can double click to hide the organization chart. Okay, and we also need to enable this allow HTML, and we also have to apply a node class, and also for the selected node class. So for each node, this node class you can find. So you can name it. You can name this class any name you like, but you make sure you have a name in this. You can find in this style. Okay. So for this node class, I give it a color for so this color, this font color is just white, and the background color like a background color like what? Like this. Okay, this is background color, and we also have no border, and the border radius is 5 pixels, and the cursor is a pointer. So if you move your mouse to the node, you'll have a pointer like this. So it is very handy. You can add a lot of stuff for this node class. So for this one, for the selected node class, so once this element is selected, as you can see here, its background color is changed, and its font color is also changed. So there's two things I did here. So I changed this background color to this red, and I also changed the font color to gray or white. You can as a black, as you can see here. So you can change the color, and you can change a lot of other stuff like borders and a lot of stuff. Anything you can change. So basically, that's the options here for the node class and the selected node class. Okay, and also you have more options that you can use. Okay, so all the options you can configure here, and they are all explained here. And you also have some method to use, but in this project I didn't use any of them. So once we have the option and the data, so we just create the chart. So with this API, Google Visualization, Organization Chart, and we put this chart in this element. So document get element by ID, chart div. So it is put the chart in this div. So I'm going to replace this text. So now we can draw this chart with data and option. So once we have drawn the chart, we can show this button for print, for printing. Okay, so we have a print div here. So in the beginning, this print div is hidden. Okay, so as you can see here, we have the div displays now. So it's at the very beginning, it's hidden. And once we have the chart created, we like to show this button, so we can click it and print a PDF file for the organization chart. Okay, basically that's all for this project. So as you can see, for the modification you can do, so basically it is CSS stuff, I think. So you can do the modification here if you are familiar with the CSS. And so let's try another color, like let's try another color. Let's pick the color like this blue. Okay, let's pick this color. So I'm going to replace this node class background color. Just replace this one. So I leave the old one here. Let's see what happens if I click. And then we also change the button color here. This is a node class. All right, let's see what happens. So try to run this function. So now the color is changed. So you have a blue like this, and I don't know why. Okay, so this is hangover color. So I need to modify this color. So it's hangover. We need to copy. We need to remove this one and put it here. And we try to run this again. Okay, now everything is just like in this blue, and the hangover color I didn't change it. All right, so you can just to show you how to do the modification with some very simple CSS code here. So you can do a lot of complicated stuff here. And one more thing, so if you try to visit this link, you may find the color is not changed. Yeah, it's changed. That's weird. All right, I thought I need to republish so I need to deploy this again. I'm not sure. I thought it will not affect the code. So anyway, so this is a new thing I just learned. I thought it was going to keep the original color. It looks like it's already deployed. I don't know why. That's very weird to me. Okay. Anyway, and yes, I think that's all for today's video. So if you find any questions or comments, please leave it in my video. Okay. So see you next time. Bye bye.